Welcome to today's episode of the Seven Figure Journey podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Miranda Dano, and today I have the privilege of speaking to Luke McCormack, the founder of McCormack Partners. Welcome to the show, Luke.
Miranda, thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me on and very much looking forward to getting into it.
Amazing. Okay. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your business? Like, how did you start and how did you get to be where you are now?
Certainly. So McCormack Partners, we are the only company in the world who recruit exclusively in the American roofing industry. I set up the business about 8 years ago after following my father into the roofing sector. I noticed a gap in the market, Miranda, for an ethical specialist recruitment firm to help roofing companies scale. With my father working in the industry, I was able to see the impact that the right people can have on the growth trajectory of the business. So I decided, as opposed to getting on a roof and fixing roofs, I would, get in the boardroom and help companies fix their personnel issues, find the best sort of staff members in the industry, and help businesses grow that way. So yeah, I basically had worked in recruitment for a few years. I thought I could do it better myself. I set up my own business, focused on the niche, which is roofing. And, the business has just grown and grown since then. We started in the Scottish recruitment market, which is much smaller than the American recruitment market. We very quickly became a brand name across the UK and Europe. And we got to the stage that because we had so many clients in the UK and Europe, our hunting ground for candidates was very small. The roofing industry globally is affected by the skill shortage, the generation gap. For every 10 people that leave roofing, only one person joins. So it's very hard to recruit staff. And I was faced with the option of either becoming a generalist recruiter, moving into other sectors, or moving further afield into the American market, which is 10 times the size with so much more opportunity. So we took the leap of faith into the land of opportunity, and we haven't looked back since. We've set up a corporation in Dallas in Texas. We're looking at offices in Miami and New York, and we're here to stay. We are 8 years into our journey. We've hardly scratched the surface of the American roofing industry, and as they say, this is just the beginning.
I love that. I'm always amazed at how, scrappy entrepreneurs are when you get to a certain point in your business and you realize you need to pivot or you need to figure something out. When other people who don't have that entrepreneurial spirit might sort of fall back, entrepreneurs tend to just charge forward and figure out really big things. So since you mentioned taking your business from Scotland to America, can you, share with our listeners how you were able to make that happen?
Yes, certainly. So when I broke into the roofing market in the UK and Europe, the strategy that we used to become known, liked, and trusted in that market was literally the exact same strategy that we used in America. As a recruitment company, particularly in the UK, recruitment is a very saturated market. Anyone can start a recruitment company. There isn't exactly a federation or a regulator that can tell the good from the bad. So because of that, there's a lot of negative press that goes about on recruitment companies. And knowing that our intentions are pure and we do have the best interests for our clients at heart, I wanted to find a way to really put myself out there, not be the recruiter that's, phoning you, cold calling you every day. Have you got any jobs? Can we get this from you? Can we get that from you? I wanted to, flip the script and develop a bit of a blue ocean strategy where we were actually bringing value to the market before asking for something in return. The law of reciprocity states that the more you give, the more you get. So we decided to choose the biggest problem which faces the US roofing industry. And, the industry itself, there's a skill shortage, there's a generation gap, the prices of materials are going up, the prices of operatives are going up. There's more codes and regulations every day. But the biggest problem that I seen with the industry was the perception issue. The perception that roofing is dirty, unsafe, dead end, no money to get made in it, no career prospects. And this could not be further from the truth. If you look at the government website in the UK or America, roofing is not actually seen as a serious career. Painting is in the UK, but not roofing. And, that was something that really got me, because there's so many people that I've met from the roofing industry that have went from roofer to CEO, or they've come into the industry from being a teacher or a sports person or in general construction. And, they've made more money than they have in other industries. They've moved up the career ladder a lot faster than other industries. And it's almost like they've found their tribe. We always say when people join roofing, they never leave. So we wanted to build something that could help the industry, which is bigger than us. So I was speaking at schools, colleges, universities, apprenticeship training centres, and we started a campaign called People Make Roofing. And the purpose of the campaign was to interview the people from the roofing industry and hear their stories about why this industry is so good. What is it given them? How have they grown from the industry? If they could speak to their younger self about roofing, what would they tell them? So we now, we became an authority in the market, one, by doing something that wasn't about getting money, but by interviewing all the authorities within the industry. By proxy, we became an authority. And, you'll know yourself, Miranda, hosting podcasts. What do people love the most? Is the sound of their own voice, for good or for bad. So, when you're asking someone for an hour to shine a light on them, to hear their story for the betterment of a cause which we know they care about, most people will say yes to this. So commercially, it gets us in the right place. But, for the industry, we're then able to build up collateral about true success stories from the industry. And we're now sharing that with school, college, university leavers, parents, teachers, career guidelines counsellors, basically everyone that influences where the younger generation will go next in their career, so that we can dispel the myths that roofing is dirty and dead end, and truly shine a light upon the plethora of specialist careers that exist in the industry, the money that can get made, and why it's such a great industry. So for us, the strategy was not just cold calling, cold emailing. I put myself on the front cover of all the roofing magazines. I started, contributing to the magazines in the industry by telling them that recruitment is such a big problem in this sector and there isn't enough information out there about it. So I started writing articles on how candidates can get better jobs in the industry, get pay rises, how companies can focus on their employer brand, can turn their business into a hiring business, how they can make it recruiter proof. And by giving all this value away, it's helping business owners recruit better. It's helping people from outside the world of roofing see what roofing can give them. But by proxy, it's building us up to be a known, liked, trusted partner in the roofing industry. So developing that strategy, following through with that, was one side of it. The other thing was, when I started recruiting and roofing in the UK, I was thinking, what is the quickest way that I can let all these companies know that I'm relevant to them, that I understand them? So what I did was I aimed for the biggest company in the UK and Europe. Now, the first company that we got, who was a mammoth client, they were the largest building materials supplier in the UK and Europe. And we did a lot of recruitment for them, for their managers, for their execs. And to be honest, working with them, I was bending over backwards. I wasn't getting the best payment terms. I was probably doing more than I should. And at that point, the fellow directors in my business were like, why are we doing this? But I always had a sort of long-term thought around this and not short-term, because I was like, if I can get the references from this company who's number one with hundreds of companies underneath them, I can then market those testimonials to the rest of the industry and show them, if I can do it for the company who's up there, just think what I can do for you. And to be honest, the mid-market clients, independent owners, that is who I prefer to work with generally. But that way, it's a quick way to get the references from the big companies to show people you know what to do. And then it just sort of snowballed from there. So when we get into the States, again, we got the top two companies. We done some good recruitment with them. We got the testimonials on the website. We marketed that to the rest of the industry. And then the majority of the market share that we built up was on the mid-sized companies who we enjoy working with the most. So, it's about doing something a bit different, differentiating yourself from all the other people that offer what you do, giving something to the industry and having that sort of long-term strategic focus that you may have to take one step back to take two steps forward, but having faith and trust in the process that will work. And don't get me wrong, there's been heartbreak, heartache, blood, sweat and tears along the way. I used to have nice long luscious hair that's long gone now, but I'm building something here that will stand the test of time, that I can pass down to my kids. They'll be here when I'm long past. So it's certainly worth it.
I love that. I think that the way that you think about just the entire trades industry in general, I think need more of you, especially in the United States. There's just really undervalued, I don't know, career choice for people. And I think there's something really beautiful actually about choosing to create something with your hands every day, like that. That choice that people make, like there's something so timeless and I don't know, like natural about doing that sort of career. Do you know what I mean?
You're so right. Stonemasons is a good example.
Yeah.
You drive past all these listed buildings and they've got, gargoyles and all these big features built on them. And sadly, what we see now is just big boxes getting built. And it sort of lacks humanity a little bit. And these dying trades are dying because there isn't enough people being ambassadors of the industry. And, people think, whose fault is it? Is it the government? Is it the associations? Is it the company? Is it the service providers? To be honest, it's everyone's responsibility, least of which a recruitment company, to try and bridge the knowledge gap about what the industry can bring. But I honestly think that we're turning a tide. So many roofing companies, particularly in America, they're putting themselves out there. They're putting themselves in front of the camera. There's so many roofing podcasts in America. There's a lot of things going on with the American Roofing Association, the NRCA, where they're investing into teaching the younger generation what the industry can do for them. And the truth of it is, within roofing, you're making more money than teachers, than nurses, than police officers. You're moving up the career ladder way faster than in IT or law or, these sexy industries. And, you're right. When I was in the cab with my father and we drove past the building, the pride in his face when he's telling me he put that roof on there or he specified that material. And, the buildings that they're working on, everything needs a roof. If the roof fails, every other component of the building fails. If you think about Facebook, Bentley, NASA, they've all got roofs. And the roof itself is on a building which will stand the test of time, that will be here longer than you and I. And it's an industry that, even during COVID, when everyone stopped and they were out in the garden with their margaritas in the sun, we weren't. We were still working because the roofing industry is an essential service. If the hospital roof has got a hole in it during COVID, the roofers need to go out and fix that. If the school building, if it fails, if there's a laboratory where the roof fails, roofing needs to go and fix it. So it's an essential skill. And that's why so many private equity firms are joining roofing, because they're realizing it's safe, it's recession proof. No matter what your financial situation, if you've got a problem with your roof, you need to get it fixed. So it's an amazing industry. It's the best kept secret in construction. And, I'm just very grateful that I found an industry like roofing, because being Scottish coming into America, you're essentially an outsider. And the collaboration which exists within the roofing industry, the amount of people that have put their arm around me, they've helped me out, they've introduced me to other people, they've taught me, they've mentored me. These are all the good salt of the earth people that make roofing. And you find it within the trades, the majority of people are like that. Some of them perhaps came from a rough background, broken families, but they've got values. And, generally speaking, they're good people. And the problem is that it can get bad press because, if you've got 10,000 people out there doing something and 500 people do something wrong, the bad news is going to travel longer and further than what good news is, because that's what sells. That's what media will push more. But you don't hear the stories about, in our People Make Roofing campaign, one of the guys I know, he's a roof coatings manufacturer in Canada. His business partner created the Windows media player and sold it to Bill Gates. You don't hear about that. Within the NRCA, they built about, I think it was 160 roofs or something for the Ronald McDonald charity for families living in poverty who couldn't afford to fix their roof. They actually donated free roofs to them. There's just so much about the industry that so many people don't know. And, I'm very grateful to say that I'm part of this industry. And, I've partnered with companies as they've doubled, tripled, quadrupled in size. We've helped people build their executive team, their management team, their sales team. And, Miranda, we truly understand the industry, the different types of companies, the different types of markets, the different types of materials. And I've always said to all my staff, like, as a recruiter, don't sell yourself based on your accolades or any of this. Sell yourself based on the quality of questions that you ask. So when we're speaking to a client about the intricacies of their business, we're asking them questions that you could only know if you truly were an expert in roofing. And, that's just another thing in how to scale. As our knowledge base of roofing grew, our customer base grew, because there's so many people out there that can do recruitment, that can sell services. They can't all follow through with it. So yeah, just to recap, have a strategy, give value, understand what you're doing, and be passionate about it. Because if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then why the hell are you doing it?
It's great. And the way that you sort of wrapped it up there just a moment ago, I mean, those are rules that apply regardless of the industry, right? You don't have to be doing roofing or anything in the trades to take that approach. And it's clear that you are passionate about making a difference in the industry that you're a part of. It's also clear that you have a sort of love of people, which is something we celebrate at Elite for sure. I wonder if you could, or what comes to mind if I ask you, what's one of the key lessons that you learned specifically around people and leadership as you were able to get your business to where it is today?
100%. So it's a great question, Miranda, because we've recently just done a round of recruitment and we had lots of great candidates, but a few years ago, I probably would have hired all of them. But now I realise that, and apologies in advance for my French, but I live by the mantra, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. And, do not hire someone unless you're completely set that that is the right person in terms of personality fit, value fit, and someone that you can work with long term. It can be hard to define what that is, but if you go into 16 personalities, for example, and you get all of your staff members to do a personality test, you can then find out, what type of person they are. In my business, everyone is a protagonist. I do not know why, but we are. So when we're now recruiting and I'm managing, I can look at the protagonist personality type and think, does this align with recruitment? Do these people work well with these other people? And it's so important to recruit, to hire slow and then fire fast. I've had people in the business who they can be like a cancer with their negativity, the energy they bring to the table, and that can scale around your business so quickly. So yeah, hire slow, define the right type of person that will last in your business, and fire fast. And a big thing as well about people and recruitment in general, Miranda, is that there's been a massive paradigm shift in the world for recruiting. Be it in the trades, in law, technology, whatever it is. 10 years ago, just because you had a job, you would have 4 or 5 people lining up to work for you. But it's not like that anymore. Now, when a good candidate is on the market, there's about 4 or 5 different companies lining up to offer them a job. So you need to change your mindset from what can I get from this person to what can I give them. And if you want people to stay with you long term, if you want to be able to recruit them and retain them, you need to make them successful. You need to ensure that they're learning, that they're growing, and that they're developing personally and professionally. It's rich that I own a recruitment business, and the hardest part about all of this has been recruiting people. I've had a lot of people come and go, and I've had a lot of people stay for years. And, I think that recruit on personality, train on skill, and, find someone that really does share that vision, that mission that you're on. Because business is very hard, particularly at startup stage, trying to get that off the ground. And if you don't trust the people that you're with, and if they don't trust you and your leadership skills and ability, and the fact that you've got their best interests at heart, then it won't last long. So, when it comes down to recruitment, I would say define exactly what it is you're looking for in terms of the skills that they've got, but more importantly than that, the personality fit, and then give them a vision, a mission of what your business stands for them to buy into. Because the reason that I left the recruitment company I worked for was because I was always career focused. I always wanted a vision, something to buy into. And this company just sort of lost that spark. And because of that, I then developed my own vision and went and started my own thing. So, if you've got people in your business, you need to care about them. You need to realize that the majority of their life is spent in your business, and people want to grow and they want to develop. And if they're not growth minded people, perhaps you shouldn't have them in your business anyway. We invest a lot into our staff. We send them to see mindset coaches. We bring recruitment experts in to develop them into being subject matter experts on recruitment. We bring people from the US roofing industry in to teach them the ins and outs of how a contracting business ticks, how the market ticks, how a candidate's mind works. And, there's a good quote where the CFO says to the CEO, what happens if we invest all of this into developing our people and they leave? And the CEO says, what if we don't and they stay? And I've had people that I've built up, I've developed them, I've made them feel invincible, and then they've left. And it's like, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to stop investing in people, stop pushing people to be the best that they can be. Some will come, some will leave. But, the values of who you are, what you stand for, and what you can give people, that is your employer brand. How you act when someone leaves your business is your employer brand. And employer branding is everything these days. So many companies come to us and they're wondering why they can't find candidates. And it's because no one even knows you're hiring. No one knows what you stand for. So when we speak to them, we want to learn everything. And this, tees in nicely to marketing. But we want to know everything about when did the business start? What is the vision for the future? What is the culture? What is the environment? What is the examples of personal development, professional development, people that have been internally promoted in the business? What do you do together out with business? What do you do for your community? We want all of this so that we can truly paint a picture for prospective candidates so that they know this is not another job, this is special. And the beauty of it is, Miranda, that the vast majority of these companies, they're successful for a reason. Even if they're struggling with their hiring, there's usually something special about them. So we're able to get all that information out of them, package it well to give to a candidate. But you don't need a recruitment firm to do that. You know, if you sit down with your people and you go through your mission, your vision, your values, your non-negotiables, you can craft that employer brand. And now with the power of social media, if you put that out there and you let people know you're hiring, it will be a lot easier to attract staff. It'll also help you attract clients, but also help you retain your staff because they know they're in a growing business and they'll take pride in the fact that you're putting yourself out there. So there's a lot to unpack from that, but you know, recruitment is marketing, and marketing your business is, you know, it's something that someone will say to me, you know, we 10 years in business and it's all repeat business. We've never marketed themselves, as if that's something to be proud of. And it's, yeah, I appreciate it. You do a good job. You get repeat customers. But in my mind, you know, if you want to be the best and you actually take your role as a business owner seriously, then you need to be invested in marketing. Our revenue's doubled every year since we truly defined who our image is that we want to portray to our market, and we invested in marketing companies to get that out there. And you know, a lot of people, they don't do it. And what turned me from 6-figure to 7-figure was 100% focusing on marketing. And you know, LinkedIn's a great place to do it. LinkedIn has a content problem. There is not enough content. 99% of people are consumers, 1% are creators. So if you build a marketing story and image and you start putting it out on LinkedIn, you do podcasts, you put yourself in front of the camera, the algorithm is going to share that to everyone in your market. And then they'll know that this is a company which is striving to do better, to be better. And that's the type of companies that clients are attracted to and players are attracted to as well. So, you know, lessons on the 7-figure journey is, if you're not marketing your business, your employees see that, your clients see that, your competitors see that, and it is a weakness. And the digital age that we're now in, if you're not evolving, you're dying. And you know, if you're listening to this and you're not marketing, you should maybe have a think about your marketing efforts.
I love this. I especially love the phrase that you used, your employer brand. And we talk about vision at Elite a lot, like purpose, values, and mission. Those words that you use, we talk about those things. We teach those things in a system to integrate those things at Elite. We that's part of our core curriculum. And I've never considered it in the package of, you know, your employer brand. It's a beautiful way to think about it. And now I'm going to use that phrase though, but I'll always give you credit, Luke, just so you know. But that's a great way to think about it. And I think what gets in the way, so I wonder if you have some advice on this. For a lot of the business owners that we work with at Elite, they understand that they should hire slow and fire fast. They get that. And when you're in the day-to-day business and you're in the grind and the hustle of trying to keep up with the work that's in front of you, and there's this big fire in front of you, like you need a team member and you need a team member now, I think that's often the reason why business owners don't take the time that they should, or aren't as intentional about their employer brand when they think about building their team. I wonder if you have any advice for them about like the mindset that's at play there, like how to
Yeah,
stay focused on doing it the right way.
I completely relate to that, Miranda. And you know, that's not just about hiring or tax or sales or anything. That, you know, that mindset of just being short term focused and I just need to do this, I just need to do this. That could take you 30 years until you look up and think, wow, all that time passed and I'd done nothing about it.
Yeah.
You need to get out your business. You can't just be working on your business, working in your business. You need to be working on your business. And it can be very hard to get that perspective shift when you're in the thick of it. My advice would be, get a mentor, get a coach, get someone who's already been down that path, and you know, speak to them, because these are people that will be able to come in and sort of dissect your mind, dissect your thoughts, and give you mental clarity. And that in itself is working on the business, not in the business. So if you have got a sounding board or someone that you can speak to about everything you've got on, it can give you an element of clarity, which can then allow you to look at all these other things. If you've got the money, use a recruitment firm, because recruitment is a full-time job, and trying to grow the business and recruit yourself, particularly when you're under seven figures, it's difficult. It is very difficult. If you've got the money to pay a recruitment fee, partner with a recruitment company. They'll be further along the search process of your industry than you ever can be. And if you invest into them and tell them how your company is differentiated from the others, what you can give for candidates, the growth trajectory that they're on, and again, what's in it for me, if you can pay them a sizable fee, they'll go to the end of the earth to get the right candidate for you. So that's one option, which might not exist for everyone if they don't have the money to do it. But what is the alternative? If you're not going to do it yourself, you're not going to go to a coach to ask for advice, you know, a personal recommendation can be the worst or best hire. But if you start letting people know, I'm hiring, I'm looking for this type of individual, advertise it on Indeed or Career Builder or Monster or in the industry magazines. I mean, it's got to take an hour of your day to go into ChatGPT, get a job description, write up a company bio, and post it on a few things. That will help speed up the process. But this full thing of I'm too busy, is that no one's too busy. It's you that has control of your life. It's you that has control of your time. So you need to prioritize these things or you're never going to get to the next level. And for me, I tried, to be honest, I was never the person that wanted to do everything. I'm all about delegating, delegate to elevate. I was never trying to control everything, do it all myself. I can do it better. I've never been that. I've always been one for, this is what I'm good at. These are my blind spots. This is what I need to get other people to do. And you are the business owner. You're the one that was up to 3 o'clock in the morning with a blank sheet of paper that wrote down the vision that made this happen. That's something to be commended. But, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. What is a company? A company is a group of people. If you don't invest your time into finding the top talent in your industry, your business will never get to the level that you want it to. If you want to be a 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneur, some of the best businesses that I know, they've got in-house recruitment. They're always hiring. How do you know when you're ready to hire? Anyone that you hire, if they are coming into the business within 3 months, they should either be paying for themselves in terms of revenue generated for the business, or the time that they have freed up you to then go and do revenue generating tasks. So if you've got 3 months salary in the bank, you can afford to hire that person. I would say hire 2 because the odds are it might not work out. But if you've got 3 months expenses for these candidates, hire them, because by the end of that 3 months, if you've onboarded them right, if you've trained them right, if you've got the right processes and systems in place, they'll then be paying for themselves in either revenue, time saved for the owner. And I believe that the way you grow a business is by hiring and marketing. You hire the right people and you focus on sales and marketing to bring in the right clients. You get a good tax accountant, so you're not just paying what your accountant told you to pay, and you can really, really grow quickly with the right people, the right advice, and the right marketing strategy for any industry.
That's great. I think it's really great advice. I love the way that you have a rather simple formula for thinking about if it's the right time to hire someone, right? The 3-month mark that you share, I think is really helpful for people because that thought process can often be unnecessarily complicated for people. So I love that. I think it's really helpful.
Yeah, just to add to that, Miranda, for people that are less than $1 million, a lot of the time you're operating with 2 months expenses in the bank and you're freaking out. But most companies operate with 3 to 6 months expenses in the bank. That's multi-million, sometimes multi-billion. So don't think I'll hire when I've got a year's expenses in the bank, because the chances are you'll never get there. And if you do have a year's expenses in the bank, you're doing it wrong, because you should be taking that money to reinvest into hiring, into marketing, so you can get to the next level. So, don't be scared by the fact that you might only have a few months expenses in the bank. You need to take that risk. And, you find with a lot of people, when they're backed into the corner, that's when they perform the most. So I would just let people know that, it's not abnormal to be trading with a small balance. And it's about what you do with that money, which will then make it compound. Don't just let it sit there. Reinvest it into your business. And the best investment that you can make is in yourself. I've had mentorship from billionaires, marketing specialists, recruitment specialists. I see a hypnotherapist, a boxing PT. I used to have a personal trainer for weightlifting. And whenever I've spent the money on a coach, I arguably couldn't afford it at that time. And I have never spent money on a coach that I haven't seen that money return to me 4, 5, even 10 times. And some of these people have mentored me for free because they've seen my passion, they've seen my energy for wanting to get business to the next level. They've seen that I'm coachable. So if you're looking for somewhere to invest your money, maybe it's not sales and marketing, maybe it's not hiring. Maybe first of all, you need to upgrade your mindset. You need to upgrade your business acumen. And I would always say the best investment is in yourself. So if you do have those extra expenses and you're not quite sure yet, get a business coach, get a mentor. Don't try and figure it all out yourself. Mentorship and coaching is literally a fast track to success, because you bring an expert in a certain field, you get in their mind, and they tell you the pitfalls to avoid, the best route to go, and they're a sounding board. There's a saying that if you want to understand water, don't ask fish. And what that means is that if you're so deep in it, it can be hard to see it for what it is. So that's why you ask someone else to look at it for you from a different perspective, not like your mum or dad or brother, someone that's got an emotional attachment to you. Ask someone who's an expert in that field or in business or in that particular segment of your business. And, for me, that's the best thing that I've ever done. And when I scale this company to be worth hundreds of millions, that's what I want to do. I want to become a mentor and help other people fast track their route to success, because it's paying mentors which has given me that sort of quantum leap to get to the next level every year. And, I'm not just saying that because you've got a coaching business, Miranda. I'm saying that because I truly believe that that is the best way to get to the next level. If you look at boxers, American football players, basketball players, anyone who excels in their field, they have a coach. And business, the same. It's a sport. You should have a coach. You should have a strategy. You should have a game plan. And without it, the odds of you getting to success is very slim, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree more. There's a quote in my profession that people say, maybe one you haven't heard before, that even coaches need a coach, right?
Yeah.
Even the people who do this professionally, like, you need someone outside of your brain to help you wrestle with whatever it is that's in front of you. So incredible advice. I want to ask one more question before we wrap up for today, if you're up for it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I am wondering if you can share with our audience what your current biggest challenge is, or maybe the next obstacle that you see coming down your path as you continue to grow your business.
Yeah, certainly. So I've just started working with a new coach, and he asked me, he said, look, in year 7 of your business, why are you only at this level? And it rocked me, because I was like, oh, I've doubled my revenue, I've done this. And he's like, no, why are you only at this level? And it made me really think deeply about why I'm only at this level. To a lot of people, it's an amazing level. To my aspirations, it's not. And I realised it was my mindset. It wasn't having my mindset completely dialed in to the vision of who I want to be. So, the current challenge I've got at the moment, which I am taking action on, is developing that mindset. And your mind, your reticular activation system, if you're thinking about problems, you'll see problems. If you're thinking about success, you'll see success. Um, it's people live as if their days are going to keep coming and coming and coming, and they're not. And I've sort of realised recently that over the past 7 years, I've spent a lot of time coasting, procrastinating, not making the most out of my day. And when I look at all these people that are extremely successful, they've got the same 24 hours as me. They had the same aspirations as me. But the difference is they executed and they took action because their mindset was on point. So you might think I've got a great mindset. Listen to me speak at the moment. I would say it's good. But I've really been sort of tussling with myself on, why did I allow myself to procrastinate? Why did I allow myself to not send that email, make that extra call, eat that bit of junk food? And, for me right now, I'm really focusing on my mindset and try to make that the best possible because I've got big goals, I've got big aspirations, big responsibilities. Um, you know, it can be heavy, the amount of responsibility that you're carrying to be a CEO scaling a global business. And, with the right mindset, everything becomes so much easier. And I feel like I've just sort of broken out of a stagnant mindset and fallen back into the sort of growth mindset, which got me on this journey in the first place. So I suppose the biggest struggle is, how do you stop being influenced by the weather, bad things happening, you know, just stuff that goes on. And it's about affirmations, it's about journaling, it's about reviewing your day, it's about planning your next day in advance, it's about having coaches, mentors, having time in solitude, having time out the business to work on the business, and financial stress, self-doubt, naysayers. These are all things that will always happen, and you sort of realize that it never gets easier, you just get stronger. And my biggest challenge at the moment is trying to prepare my mind to be absolute optimal performance 24/7, because it's not easy. And yeah, that's something that I'm grappling with at the moment. And it's like, how do you balance family life, personal life with work life? At one moment I'm saying I want to be 100% all in, but then you think of the effect that has on your loved ones and stuff. So yeah, perhaps they'll always be grappling with it. Don't think there is a right answer to it. But yeah, the mindset and the balance is definitely something that I'm tussling with at the moment. But get knocked down 6 times, get back up 7 and all that. So I'll be all good, Miranda.
I'm not too worried about you, Luke. I feel like you probably will come around the other side of it. This is a really great share. I love the way you answered this question specifically for our audience, because I think many will resonate with the idea of having a growth mindset being an important part of how they were able to start their business and get their business to where it is, and then finding themselves in a place where they aren't operating as much from that growth mindset, right? I think people still have big dreams when they're at this 6 to 7 figure mark, like this part of the business growth journey. They still have big dreams and goals for their businesses, and it just takes so much to get here, or to get to that spot, that I think sometimes people pause a bit or slow down,
Yeah,
understandable. So you're the way that you articulated that and were honest and vulnerable to share that you're like, hey, I got to get myself kind of back in there and back in that growth mindset again, I think is really helpful.
I appreciate it, Miranda. Well, thank you for giving me the platform to speak and just sort of share value with people. I think these interviews, these podcasts, I spent so much of my time watching them, and to now be the person who is being watched, I very much appreciate that. So thank you for your time, Miranda. Keep doing what you're doing, and look forward to perhaps coming on again sometime.
Yes, I'd love to have you again. Of course, I look forward to it. Before I do my closing thing, Luke, where can people find you if they want to get a hold of you?
On LinkedIn. So Luke McCormack, McCormack Partners. I'm on LinkedIn. I will be taking my own advice. I will be putting my face out there. Videos, podcasts, articles. It's all there. And, if anyone needs help on their mindset, their business, anything like that, I'm happy to help or introduce you to someone who can. So yeah, get me on LinkedIn, and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Luke. That wraps up today's episode of the Seven Figure Journey podcast, where we explore the ins and outs of the seven-figure journey. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. I've really loved having you. For all of you listening in, I hope that you will share, like, and do all the things to make this episode more available to other seven-figure business owners. Keep striving, keep learning, keep caring, and keep pushing towards your goals. Until next time.